Everyone laughed when Amira stepped on the field, until her backflip silenced the crowd. The school bell rang loudly, echoing through the hallways of Roosevelt High School. Students rushed to their classes, laughing, chatting, and carrying heavy backpacks. In the middle of it all walked Amira Carter, her head low but her eyes sharp. She had joined the school just 2 days ago. Amira was new, quiet, and different. Her dark skin, braided hair, and calm silence made her stand out in this school full of flashy clothes and loud voices. But it wasn't just her looks. There was something more, something no one could see yet. She carried a secret. As Amira walked toward the gym, her heart beat faster. She wasn't scared of the school or even the students. She was used to new places. Her father's military life had moved them from state to state, but today wasn't just about fitting in. Today was tryouts for the cheerleading team. She clutched the flyer in her hand. Cheer tryouts Thursday, 3 p.m. All grades welcome. Amira had loved cheering since she was little. She learned flips before she could read properly. Her father, an elite Navy SEAL, trained her in strength, balance, and discipline. She didn't just dance. She moved like a storm. But no one here knew that. Who's she? In the gym, the other girls had already started warming up. Most were dressed in fancy matching outfits, stretching and giggling. They noticed Amira the moment she stepped in. She's new, someone whispered. She looks like she just came from the library. Another laughed. A tall blonde girl named Haley, the cheer captain, rolled her eyes. Let her try. Need someone to sweep the floor after practice anyway. The others laughed. Amira heard everything. She didn't respond. She just walked to the side quietly and started warming up alone. Show us what you've got. The coach, a tired-looking woman with a whistle around her neck, clapped loudly. All right, girls. One by one. Let's see what you've got. One by one, the girls performed. Some did basic moves. Some forgot their steps halfway. Some tried hard but landed awkwardly. The coach nodded politely, but wasn't impressed. Then it was Amira's turn. Everyone stopped whispering. The coach raised her eyebrows. Name, Amira Carter, she said calmly. Okay, Amira, let's see your moves. She took her place in the center of the floor. Her eyes closed for just a second. Her father's voice echoed in her mind. Breathe. Focus. You're not here to prove anything. You're here to do what you were trained for. And she opened her eyes and moved. Silence fell. Amira ran, jumped into a flawless cartwheel, then flipped into a no-hands backflip. Her landing was sharp. Her arms cut through the air like she was flying. She spun, twisted, and then held a perfect split. There was dead silence. No one laughed, not even Haley. The coach stood up, speechless. That was advanced. Where did you learn that? My dad, Amira said softly. Shows too much after. The tryouts, the girls sat in a circle pretending to stretch. She's not even cheerleader material, Haley said. But she's good, another girl replied. Too good. This isn't the Olympics. She's trying too hard. It's desperate, Haley snapped. Amira sat alone on the bench, sipping water. She didn't need to hear what they said. Her eyes said enough. But she didn't care. She was used to being the outsider. She was used to fake smiles. Her father always said, people fear what they don't understand. And clearly, they didn't understand her. Amia more. Why that night? Amira sat on her bed, looking at a framed photo. Her father in full Navy SEAL uniform, holding a medal, smiling proudly. She touched the frame gently. They don't know who I am. Dad, she whispered, but they will. Outside, the wind blew through the trees. Somewhere in the darkness, something was changing. The LASD the next morning. The final cheer list was posted outside the gym. Girls crowded around it, squealing and pushing each other. Haley was first on the list. Obviously, her friend Jessica smiled. Wide, we made it. Then someone screamed, Wet Amira. Yes, Amira's name was on the list. Position. Flyer. The hardest position. The one that flies at the top of the pyramid? She must have cheated, Haley shouted. She's not even one of us. But the coach had written a note at the bottom of the list. Special talent deserves special recognition. Let's build a team, not a club. Amira stood a little distance away. Watching the chaos, she didn't smile. She just nodded on. Walked to class, unseen Ian Emwa. That day in the cafeteria, people looked at Amira differently. Some with curiosity, some with jealousy. A few boys clapped. One girl smiled, but Haley watched from across the room, her jaw tight. She thinks she's something, Haley said to her friends. We need to remind her she's not. Nightfall PLNS that night, a group chat buzzed. Operation cut down. Let's bring her back to Earth. She thinks she can flight time to clip her wings. Sleepover plan confirmed. Oh, it's on. In a quiet room on the other side of town, Amira did push-ups on her floor. Her hands shook, but she didn't stop. Each breath was a promise. The war begins. This wasn't just a cheer competition anymore. It was something else. Silent war had begun, and Amira was ready. They smiled in front of her but behind her. They plotted her fall. Monday morning arrived, fresh and quiet. The sun rose over Roosevelt High, painting the school walls with soft gold. These students moved through the hallways, busy as always. But something had changed. Amira Carter, the new girl, was no longer invisible. People whispered her name now. Some called her the cheer ninja, others the quiet queen. That backflip during tryouts had burned into everyone's memory. Even students who hadn't seen it in person had watched the video someone secretly recorded. It was spreading through school group chats like wildfire, but not everyone was impressed, especially not Haley, the cheer captain. She thinks she's better than us. Haley sat at her usual spot in the lunchroom, surrounded by her close group Jessica, Macy, and Tasha. Their trays were untouched. Their eyes were on Amira. She walks around like she owns the place. Haley muttered. She literally didn't even say anything today. Jessica shrugged. She doesn't have to, Haley snapped. Look at her. Everyone's talking. About her, like she's a superhero. What about us? We've worked hard for 2 years. Macy leaned in. So what do? Haley's lips curled into a small smile. We remind her where she belongs. Friend or fake? Amira walked down the hallway after science class. She held her books close to her chest and ignored the curious stares. A few students waved at her, and she nodded politely. She didn't trust easily. She had learned not to. Then Jessica, Haley's closest friend, ran up to her. Hey, Amira, she said with a big smile. Amira blinked, surprised. Hi, want to join us at Haley's house this Friday? Just the cheer girls? Bonding night. Amira hesitated. It felt strange. But maybe. Maybe. They were trying to include her. Okay, she said slowly. Cool. Jessica handed her a shiny pink card. Sleepover. Oh, you'll love it. She's coming to the trap that evening at Haley's house. The same group gathered around the phone. She actually said yes. Tasha gasped. Haley grinned. Of course she did. She thinks we're being nice. So what's the plan?
Haley?
Leaned back, her voice cold. She embarrassed me at tryouts. Now we return the favor. A little prank. Nothing big. But what kind? Macy asked. We'll think of something. Trust me. She wished she never joined this team. They all laughed. But deep inside, even Jessica felt a small pinch of guilt. Practice PRSSURE at cheer practice on Wednesday. The girls rehearsed their routine for the upcoming school assembly. Mira was in the flyer position, the girl who's lifted high into the air during stunts. Okay, pyramid set in 3, 2, 1, go, the coach yelled. 2 girls lifted Amira. She flew up, hands stretched high. She spun midair, graceful and strong. Everyone clapped except Haley. Try not to show off next time, she said loudly. This is a team, not your solo movie. Amira looked down. I wasn't showing off. I was doing the move. Ellie turned away. The coach raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Flashback. A lesson from DAD that night. Amira sat cross-legged on the floor, watching a blurry home video on her tablet. Her father, in his SEAL uniform, stood in front of her younger self. People will clap when you fail. Smile anyway. People will whisper lies. Walk anyway. Because you don't move for their approval. You move because you were built for storms. Amira touched the screen. You told me they'd come, Dad, and they have. Social media TRICKS the next day. Jessica posted a picture of the team with Amira cropped halfway out. In the caption, she wrote, True OG Girls Day One's other girls shared it. Liked it. Tagged each other. Amira saw it. She said nothing. But the cold feeling in her chest grew stronger. She knew now the smiles weren't real. The hallway ACCID&T on Thursday. Amira was walking toward the locker room when suddenly splat. Her book slipped from her hands. Someone had spilled soda on the hallway floor right in front of her. Laughter from behind her. Tasha covered her mouth, pretending to be shocked. Oh my God, Amira. Watch where you're going. Amira looked at her soaked notebook, then at the soda bottle rolling nearby. It hadn't fallen. It had been placed. She looked up but said nothing. She just picked up her things and walked away. Haley, watching from a distance, whispered, She's still quiet, but I know she's angry now. The sleepover tier to Friday night came. Amira stood outside Haley's house, holding her small backpack. She wore simple clothes, no makeup, just lip balm. Her hair was braided neatly, and she looked calm. Jessica opened the door with a big smile. Hi. Come in. Inside, the girls laughed loudly. Music played. Snacks were everywhere. Amira felt a little out of place, but smiled anyway. They offered her a drink, popcorn, even compliments. Your braids are so cute, said Macy. Where'd you learn to dance like that? Asked Tasha. Amira answered kindly but briefly. She didn't let her guard down after all. Her father had trained her for moments just like this. Behind the bathroom DOR late that night, Amira went to the bathroom. She washed her hands. She heard whispers through the thin walls. The girls were in the room next door. She listened. Oh! So he's still cutting it. She's got those long braids, maybe just one. Or should we dye it pink? No. Let's wait till she's asleep. Easier. Isn't this kind of mean? She'll survive? It's just for fun. Amira froze. She didn't blink. She turned off the water and walked back into the room like she had heard nothing. A seed of duped later that night. As the lights dimmed, Amira lay in her sleeping bag. Her eyes were open, her body still, her breathing quiet. She heard feet moving, giggling, scissors, clicking. Then silence. They woke up laughing, till someone screamed. Amira's uniform was gone. The morning sun broke through the curtains of Haley's large bedroom. Blankets were everywhere, chips crushed on the carpet, and the smell of nail polish still lingered from the night before. The girls woke up slowly, yawning and stretching. They giggled over selfies from the night before and whispered about who had fallen asleep first. But one sound cut through everything. A scream. Where's my uniform? Everyone turned. It was Amira. She stood by her backpack, holding it open, but it was empty. Her cheer uniform was missing. What? Haley blinked. Amira's face was calm, but her voice was ice. My uniform. Packed it in here for practice. Now it's gone. The room went quiet. Jessica quickly looked under a pillow. Tasha checked the closet. I swear I didn't touch it, someone said. Amira's eyes moved across each of them. Her hands were still. Her heart wasn't. Are you sure you packed it? Macy asked, trying to sound helpful. Yes, Amira replied. I checked twice. Whispers and Ellie Eston minutes later. Amira stood outside the house, waiting for her. Father to pick her up? She didn't say goodbye. Inside the house, the girls whispered. Did anyone actually take it? Macy asked nervously. I didn't, Tasha said. I thought we were just going to mess with her hair. I swear I didn't do it, Jessica said. Maybe she's faking it for attention. Haley sat on the bed, arms crossed. She's lying. Probably forgot to pack it and now wants to blame us. But something in her voice cracked. Something. Uncertain, because in the very back of the closet, behind a pile of extra blankets, was a rolled-up cheer uniform hidden, and only one person had put it there. Back at home, Amira sat at the kitchen table. Her father, Commander Elijah Carter, placed a plate of eggs in front of her. You didn't eat much yesterday either, he said softly. Amira looked up. They're messing with me. He sat across from her, his face calm. Tell me everything. She explained the whispers, the fake smiles, the pranks, and now the missing uniform. He didn't react angrily, didn't interrupt. He listened then. He leaned forward and said, "You're not here to fight children, Amira. You're here to master yourself." Amira looked down. "They want to break me?" He nodded. "Then don't break. Train harder. Speak less. And when it's time, let your actions speak louder than their noise." Practice with no UNFO or Monday's cheer practice. Amira showed up in regular gym clothes. The other girls were in matching school uniforms, posing for pictures before the coach arrived. Haley saw her and raised her voice. "Did someone forget laundry day?" Few girls chuckled. Coach Simmons frowned. "Amira, where's your uniform?" "It was stolen," Amira said, meeting her eyes. The coach looked surprised. From where Amira hesitated, she looked at the team, all pretending to stretch or stare at their phones. "Doesn't matter," Amira said quietly. "Can I still practice?" "Dad." The coach stared at her a long time, then nodded. "Yes. But get a replacement before the pep rally." Test of CON 2 RL during stunts, Amira stayed focused. Her flips were sharp. Her jumps were higher than anyone's. Even Coach Simmons looked impressed, but the others were tense. They whispered behind their hands. They pretended to mess up just to throw off the timing, and yet Amira didn't lose her cool, not once. That calm scared. "Haley, more than any backflip, she's faking it," Haley muttered. "She'll crack soon." The hallway trap the next day, someone taped a fake sign to Amira's locker. "If you fail, girl, you're not flying, you're falling." Below it was a terrible drawing of her doing a flip hand, landing flat on her face. A group of boys laughed as she walked past it. Amira paused, looked at the drawing, took it down, and without a word, folded it and threw it in the trash. She didn't look around. She didn't get angry. She simply moved on. The video PL'd that night. Haley called a secret meeting with her group. "She's still acting like she's above us," she said. "So we record her, get her angry on camera, post it, are you sure?" Jessica asked. "She hasn't done anything wrong. She mess up. Everyone does. We just need to push the right button." A moment alone, Amira sat outside on the bleachers one afternoon, drinking water after practice. Jessica walked up slowly, phone in hand, recording. "Hey," she said. "You okay?" Amira nodded. "Why wouldn't I be? I mean, everything going on? The rumors, the locker sign, the missing uniform?" Amira smiled slightly. "You mean the uniform someone from your group took?" Jessica froze. "What?" Amira turned to face her. "You think I don't know? Y'all think I'm quiet because I'm scared? I'm quiet because I'm watching?" Iska lowered her phone. "I didn't take it, I swear. I didn't know Haley would go that far." Amira stood up slowly, then stopped following her. Jessica's eyes dropped. Then she turned and walked away. Coach's Diacio VR way later that week. Coach Simmons was cleaning the storage closet in the gym when she found something odd, rolled up uniform in a pink drawstring bag. Inside was a folded note that read, "Hope she learns her place." No name. No handwriting to trace, but it was Amira's uniform. The coach stared at the bag for a long time. She didn't say a word to the team. Not yet. A father's reminded her at home that evening. Amira was working out in the garage, sit-ups, push-ups, balance training. Her father watched silently for a while, then spoke. "Pain isn't your enemy," he said. She paused, breathing hard. "What is anger?" he said simply. "Anger makes you sloppy, and they're counting on that." Amira nodded. "I won't give them what they want." Suspenseful, Iondi Anja, the next day at school. Amira opened her locker. Inside was her uniform freshly folded, neatly placed, like nothing had happened. No note, no apology, just silence. She pulled it out, held it for a second, then smiled. But her eyes weren't soft. They were sharper than ever. Everyone came to watch the cheerleaders shine, but one girl came to ruin everything. And Amira, she was ready. It was the biggest day of the month, pep rally Friday. The gym was packed. Loud music, waving banners, screaming students. Teachers leaned against walls, pretending not to smile. The whole school buzzed with excitement. At the center of it all, the Roosevelt's high cheer team, and among them Amira Carter. She stood quietly in formation. Her uniform crisp, her braid tied high, her eyes focused. This was her first big performance since joining the team. And after everything they had done, after the whispers, the pranks, the trap, she was still here, standing strong. A plan in Motio and behind the bleachers. Haley, the cheer captain, whispered to Tasha and Macy, "Make sure the rope is loose." She said quietly, "You sure about this?" Macy asked. "The coach is watching everything. It's harmless," Haley snapped. "The ribbon will just fall off during her stunt. It'll throw her off a little, nothing dangerous." Tasha didn't look convinced. "If she falls, she won't. She's Navy SEAL's daughter, remember?" Haley sneered. "She'll land like a cat. And even if she doesn't, maybe that's the end of her perfect act." They nodded. But their stomachs turned. They were crossing a line and they knew it. "The routine begins, Roosevelt." The crowd chanted. Coach Simmons blew her whistle. "All right, girls, let's go." Full energy, smile wide. The team ran out to the center court. Loud music boomed through the speakers. The girls began their dance. Every move was sharp, timed, electric. Amira moved like wind light, fast, powerful. Students screamed her name. Phones recorded her every move. Even the school principal nodded in approval. The STUNT now came the final moment. The stunt everyone was waiting for. The pyramid, Amira. Was the flyer the one to be lifted to the very top? Positions. Coach Simmons called, the girls formed the base. Haley and Tasha stepped into place. Amira climbed quickly, confident, like a soldier on a mission. The crowd watched, holding their breath. She reached the top, raised both hands. A pause, then dash snapped. The ribbon holding her left shoe came undone, just like Haley had planned. Amira's foot slipped. The crowd gasped, but Amira didn't fall. She flipped midair. One full spin, landed on both feet like a gymnast. The gym exploded with cheers. People stood, shouted her name. Phones captured every second. Haley's face turned white. This wasn't a fail. It was a moment of glory. Coach's SUSPICON. After the performance, the team huddled in the locker room. Coach Simmons entered, her face unreadable. "Great job, ladies," she said slowly, then turned to Amira. "You okay?" Amira nodded. Coach looked at the pyramid group. "Anyone want to tell me how that ribbon came loose?" No one spoke. Not a sound. Just shuffling shoes. "I see," Coach said quietly. "I'll be watching more carefully from now on." Her voice was but dangerous. Haley's melty DW, and later that afternoon, Haley stormed out of the locker room, slamming her locker shut. "This isn't fair," she snapped. Jessica followed. "You almost made her fall, Haley." "I didn't tell her to actually flip and land like a superhero," Haley barked. "She was supposed to mess up? Not go viral?" "People are calling her the real captain now," Macy said quietly. Haley froze. Her face turned cold. "We'll see about that." Amira's silent power. Amira walked through the school halls that evening, her duffel bag over her shoulder. Students high-fived her. Few teachers smiled. She said nothing. She didn't brag, didn't laugh. She just kept walking. At home that night, her father stood at the window. "I saw the video," he said. "Nice flip." Amira smiled. "I slipped." "No," he said. "You adapted. That's what warriors do." Suspense yelled his butt while Amira rested. Haley didn't. That night, alone in her room, Haley opened her laptop. Her hands shook as she logged in to a secret account, an account she'd made months ago, and began uploading something. A dark MOV title of the video. The Real Amira Carter. Not so innocent, it was a short, edited clip. From practice, cut in a way to make Amira look like she pushed one of the girls. Fake text messages added in, pretending to be from her. All lies, all fake, but Haley hit post, smiled. They believed the video. They called her fake. But Amira had one rule: never fight with words when truth hits harder in silence. The POSTAT, 7:46 a.m. The school group chat exploded. You guys see this? Wait, is this Amira? Oh my god. She pushed Tasha. She's not as sweet as she looks. The video was only 12 seconds long. Grainy gym footage. No sound. Amira standing next to Tasha. A cut. Then Tasha stumbling backward like she'd been shoved. A fake text flashed on screen. She thinks she runs this team. Not while I'm here. Amira B 9 a.m. The video had 4,000 views. By lunchtime, it hit 20,000. Whispers and stare as Amira walked into school like any other day, except this time. Everything had changed. Girls stared. Boys whispered. One person flinched when she passed. She's the one from the video, someone murmured. I thought she was cool. I heard she threatened Tasha. Students looked at her differently now, with fear, with judgment, and still Amira said nothing. The teacher's OFI CE at third period. Amira was called to the counselor's office. Ms. Alvarez sat behind her desk with a printed still image from the video. Amira, we need to talk. Amira sat down calm. I didn't push her. Ms. Alvarez nodded slowly. That's not what the video shows. Then the video is a lie, Amira replied. The counselor sighed. Do you have proof? Amira looked at the ceiling. No, not yet. But you're telling the truth? I am, she said softly. There was a silence. Then Ms. Alvarez said, Shh, okay. Until this clears, I'm taking you off the pep rally showcase team. Amira's hands didn't move, but inside her world cracked. The lunchroom Sachiv, tea at lunch. She sat at her usual corner table alone. Tasha, Macy, Jessica,
Us.
and the rest of the squad were laughing at the center. Even Jessica avoided eye contact. Guess the Navy kid couldn't follow school rules. Haley smirked, loud enough for others to hear. She pushed you? Someone asked Tasha. Tasha looked nervous, nodded slightly. A lie. And it worked. A video that shouldn't excise. Evening, Amira sat in her garage, practicing balance on a medicine ball. Her father, Commander Carter, stood by the door. They turned on you, he said. She didn't stop balancing. Yes, you gonna cry? No, she whispered. Good, you don't cry when you're right. You prove it. Amira looked up. How do I prove something that didn't happen? Her father walked to his laptop, pulled out a USB. I installed a backup cam in your gym bag last week. Military grade, just in case. He plugged it in. On screen, a clear video, full sound. Unedited.amir, helping Tasha during a warm-up drill. No pushing, no anger, only patience. The truth. Amira's mouth opened. Let's upload this, right? Her father said. Truth hits Biasika the next morning. A new video hit the school group chat. What really happened? Amira exposes the lie. Side-by-side clips. Left. The fake video right. The full video dash unedited. The comments changed fast. Wait, what? This proves everything? They lied? So she didn't push anyone?
Oh, that's so messed up.
By 10 a.m., the original fake video was taken down by noon. Haley's name was trending for the wrong reasons. Coach Simmons, STRIKS, after lunch. Coach Simmons stormed into the locker room. She held up a phone. Who edited this? No answer. Her voice turned sharp. You think this is a joke? Faking fights? Framing a teammate? She pointed at Haley. Locker, now. Haley's mouth opened. I didn't coach. Didn't blink. I've seen the upload log. It came from your IP. Gasps from the team. You're suspended. Indefinitely. Haley stood frozen, and that's when Jessica stepped forward. I knew, she said, and I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. Coach Simmons glared at them both. This team is supposed to lift each other, not tear people down. The silent CLP that afternoon, as Amira walked into the hallway. Something happened. Students turned toward her and began clapping. Not loud, just enough. Few high-5s. A quiet sorry from someone. A teacher gave her a respectful nod. She didn't smile, didn't raise her hand. She just kept walking, head high. Step strong, but her eyes were soft. Ending SUSP and SAs, she neared the school exit. A familiar voice stopped her. Hey, Mira turned. Tasha? She looked guilty. nervous. I didn't know Haley was going to post that. I didn't stop her. I didn't speak up. I'm sorry. Amira didn't reply. She stared at Tasha for a moment, then said, "It's not me you need to convince," and walked away. She proved the school wrong, but her father saw through her silence. He knew what was coming and made her train for the war no one else saw coming. The silence after the STOR, and the truth was out. Haley had been suspended. The cheer team apologized, and Amira, she got her place back. But something in her had changed. She still came to school early, still stayed late, still trained like a soldier. But her voice grew quieter, her eyes sharper. Something was building inside her hand. Her father knew it. Dinner with a TST that evening. The Carters sat at their small wooden dining table. Commander Carter watched his daughter eat in silence. "You won, you know," he said finally. Amira shrugged. "Did I?" He leaned forward. "You exposed a lie, saved your name, made them respect you. But you still look like you're carrying something." Amira looked up slowly. "They don't fear me. They pity me." Her father smiled. "Good. Fear fades, but respect, that stays. You want more? Then be more." She frowned. "How?" He stood and tossed a silver stopwatch on the table. "Tomorrow. 5 a.m.? Meet me in the yard." The first lied, checked for sunrise. Amira stepped outside into the cold morning air. Her father stood in boots, sweatshirt, and military gloves. No smile, no joke. Just a single order. We train. The test BG&S they started with running, then push-dash-ups, then climbing drills, then mental drills balancing on a narrow beam while solving riddles. Every time she hesitated, he added more time to her stopwatch. Every time she fell, he made her start again. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation, and Amira felt it. The strength she thought she lost after the fake video was coming back, but so was something new: control. A moment of DOUBT 3 days in, Amira slumped to the grass, chest heaving. "I can't breathe," she whispered. Her father knelt beside her. "Good, then breathe through fire." "I'm not you," she said. "I'm not a soldier." "No," he agreed. "You're better, because you're learning how to fight a war without even throwing a punch." Put her a water bottle. "Now drink. You've got 2 minutes before the next round." Trouble BRAWING back at school. The cheer team was still struggling. Without Haley's leadership, routines were sloppy. Morale was low. Coach Simmons tried to keep it together, but stress showed on her face. Jessica approached Amira during lunch. "We need help. The team's falling apart." Amira paused mid-bite. "You don't need me," she said. "We do," Jessica insisted. "They won't listen to anyone else." Amira stood. Her expression was unreadable. "I'll think about it." The whispers. A returnal later that week, a new student arrived. Kendall, bright red hair, loud laugh, sharp tongue, and within hours she had Haley's old spot. The school watched her closely, and Kendall. She watched Amira. There was something unsettling about the way she stared. Not with fear, not with respect, but with calculation. Like a shadow waiting for light to move. The father warns HER that night. Amira and her father sat in the garage surrounded by training mats. He tossed her a phone. "Kendall," he said. "I ran her background. Transferred from Westridge High. Kicked off their cheer team last year." "Why?" Amira asked. "Rumors say she injured a girl. On purpose." Amira looked at the screen. Kendall's photo stared back. Pretty, confident, dangerous. Her father continued. "This time, they won't just lie about you. They'll try to break you." Ending. Sania Amira stood in front of her mirror that night. She had bruises on her arms from training. Her muscles ached. Her mind was tired. But her eyes were stronger than ever. She picked up her uniform, folded it neatly, then whispered to herself, "Let them come." She wore a smile. But Kendall wasn't there to make friends. In Amira, she was about to face a different kind of enemy, one who didn't hide her claws. The new GIR Kendall. Harper walked into the gym like she already owned it, tall, red-haired, confident, and within 3 days of transferring. She was already standing. Front row at cheer practice. Coach Simmons introduced her with a polite smile. "Everyone, meet Kendall." She cheered at Westridge for 2 years. Jessica leaned toward Amira. 2 years. And she was still kicked out. Amira didn't reply. She just watched Kendall's walk, her posture, her eyes. She wasn't nervous, she wasn't excited. She was calculating. First practice, all right, girls. Coach clapped. Back to formation. Kendall, let's see your jump. Kendall stepped forward, bent slightly, and launched into a perfect toe touch. Loud, sharp, clean. Even Coach looked surprised. A few of the girls clapped. Jessica gave a nervous smile. Kendall stood, turned slowly, and locked eyes with Amira, not in greeting, not in respect, but in challenge. The split BEG&S over the next few days. Kendall made her move. She complimented Tasha's makeup, helped Macy with her form, even laughed at Coach's corny jokes, but around Amira. She stayed silent, and slowly, people noticed. She's not that bad, Tasha said. She actually helped me get my timing right, Macy added. She's confident, someone whispered. Like Haley used to be. The stunt OFFC art coach, Simmons, gathered the team one afternoon. We're reworking the final routine for state finals. I need 2 flyers. Now one will be Amira, the other she paused. Kendall raised her hand. Coach blinked. You sure? Kendall smiled. Absolutely. Jessica looked at Amira nervously. 2 flyers meant 1 pyramid, 1 spotlight, and suddenly it wasn't just a team stunt, it was a battle for center stage. Locker room, TNSEO, and later that day. Kendall passed by Amira in the locker room, no one else around. Just the 2 of them. Kendall stopped and leaned on the bench. You're good, she said calmly. But you're not the only one anymore. Amira didn't look up, Kendall added. I saw your little video. Your big save. The flip, the fame, the sympathy. Amira finally met her gaze. No one asked you to come here. Kendall smiled. No, but I'm staying. Then she walked out, leaving behind a silence so heavy, it echoed. Training a Retorin-S that night, Amira returned to the yard. She ran. She flipped. She climbed ropes in the dark. Her father stood near the porch, arms crossed. She's poking at you, he said. I know. She wants you to snap. Amira didn't speak. Her father added, let her play loud. You play smart. VOTI 2 days before the stunt assignment. Coach Simmons did something unexpected. I want the team to vote, she said. Who do you think should lead the final pyramid, Amira or Kendall? Gasps filled the gym. Kendall smirked. Jessica looked panicked. Amira said nothing. Coach passed out, anonymous slips, and the girls voted. RSULT is the next day. The results were posted. Flyer A. Amira Flyer B. Kendall Butt written below in Coach's own handwriting were the raw votes. Amira 2-5, Kendall 5. 1 vote missing. Coach looked at the team. I broke the tie. Both of you lead. Work together. Kendall looked annoyed. Amira. Calm, but inside, a spark had lit. Last seen as the girls stretched in silence. Jessica walked over. I didn't vote, she admitted. Amira raised a brow. I froze. Jessica whispered. I'm sorry. Amira nodded. It's okay. Jessica paused. You don't hate her? Amira finally said, No, I understand her, but I don't trust her. Then she stood and walked toward the center mat. Kendall was waiting. The war wasn't over. It was just starting. The stunt was risky. The spotlight was shared, but someone in the shadows had a plan, and one wrong grip nearly destroyed everything. A dangerous ROUTNE state finals were only a week away. The cheer team practiced hard to flyers. One stunt, Amira and Kendall side by side, perfect timing, was required. One mistake could break bones, but something was off. Amira felt it. Kendall moved well, but too fast. Too sharp, too eager, like she wasn't part of a team, but part of a plan. Tension on the mat again? Coach Simmons shouted. Amira jumped. The bases lifted. Kendall spun beside her. The pyramid rose. Then Kendall leaned in close, whispering as they reached the top. Don't mess up. or I'll make sure you regret it. Amira's eyes locked with hers, steady, unshaken. But her heart? It thudded hard, not from fear, from focus. The bass GIRL Macy. One of the basses holding Kendall had been acting strange lately. She fumbled a grip, missed a step, when Amira offered help. Macy looked away, and when Kendall spoke to her, she smiled. Too much. Something wasn't right. The WHISPR that evening. Jessica caught Amira in the locker room. I need to tell you something, she whispered. Amira turned. Jessica looked nervous. I overheard Kendall. She told Macy to let her fall if she pushes too hard. Amira's eyes widened. She's planning to drop you, Jessica said. Amira nodded slowly. No, she's planning to blame me. The final PR, SETIC next day, the gym was quiet. Everyone stood ready. It was time for the full routine run. Coach Simmons sat on the bench with her. Clipboard? Let's see it from top to bottom, she said. The music started. The team moved in sync. Then came the final pyramid, the flyer lift. Amira and Kendall jumped together. The bases lifted them, but something shifted. Kendall leaned into Amira's side, mid-dash air. Too close, too off balance. And Macy loosened her grip. The FAL time slowed. Amira felt Kendall's shoulder against hers. Then Kendall slipped, screamed, and fell sideways. The gym gasped. Coach stood thud. Kendall hit the mat dash hard. Silence. Everyone froze. The ACC USATO and Kendall sat up slowly, holding her wrist. She pushed me. She yelled. All eyes turned to Amira. Amira stayed still. Then Coach asked quietly, Amira, did you push her? Amira looked directly at Kendall. No, she leaned into me. Coach turned to the team. Anyone see what happened? Macy bit her lip. Jessica raised her hand. I did. Coach nodded. Go on. She fell. On her own. I was watching. She lost balance trying to throw Amira off. Coach narrowed her eyes. You're sure? Jessica nodded. 100%. Kendall's face darkened. The truth comes, you to Coach helped Kendall to the bench. But her tone was different now. You've got 2 days to recover, she said coldly. But I'm reviewing footage. The team stood silent. Then Coach added, if I find out anyone messed with the routine on purpose, they're off the squad. Permanently. Kendall looked down. Amira met Jessica's eyes and nodded. A silent thank you. The call that Anaya gotched that evening. Amira sat on the porch. Her father stepped beside her. You held your ground, he said. She tried to bring me down, Amira replied. Literally, he nodded. That's what weak people do when they can't outwork you. She turned. You think she'll try again? He looked at the stars. No, then paused. She'll try something worse. Ending SUSPNS inside Kendall's room, her phone buzzed. A text popped up from an unknown number. Didn't work. Got another idea? She won't make it to state. Kendall smirked, then typed back, good. Time to finish this. The bus was ready. The team was ready. But Amira's seat stayed empty. Someone smiled when they realized she was gone. The final. Morananjit was the day of the state finals. Banners were packed. Uniforms ironed. The cheer team gathered outside the school, ready to board the bus. Excitement buzzed through the air. But one person didn't show up, Tamara. Jessica checked her phone. No reply. Coach Simmons frowned. Has anyone seen her? The team looked around. Kendall stood near the back, arms crossed, face calm. Almost a calm. Her rementee at the Carter house. The front door was wide open. Inside, her room was neat but empty. Her bag was missing. Her uniform was gone, but her phone sat on her bed. Unlocked the last message. Her father found a strange note on the nightstand. Going early to practice at the stadium. Meet you there. Picked it up, read it again, and frowned. There was one problem. Amira never called it a stadium. She always called it the arena. Something wasn't Right panic on the BUS. Coach Simmons dialed Amira's number again. Straight to voicemail. Jessica whispered to Tasha, "This isn't like her." Kendall leaned forward and said loudly, "Maybe she got scared. Big stage and all." Jessica turned sharply. "She's not scared. She's smart." Kendall smiled. "Slightly. Then where is she?" Coach's voice broke through the tension. "Let's go. I can't wait any longer." The bus pulled away with one empty seat in the front. Dark place. Amira opened her eyes. Dark room. Wooden floor. No windows. Her wrists were tied but loosely. Like someone didn't expect her to resist. She moved quietly, mind racing. Where was she? How long had it been? And then she remembered. The text. Last night, she got a message from Coach asking her to meet early at an off-site location for private prep. She trusted it. She went, and now she knew it wasn't Coach. Flashback. The Irish remembered getting into the black SUV. A man inside wore sunglasses and said, "Coach's assistant. Just helping with prep." He offered her water. She refused. Then everything went dark. Now she was here, somewhere far from help. "Think like a sower to her," her father's voice echoed in her head. "If you ever feel trapped, don't panic. Observe, analyze, then act." She scanned the room again. No cameras. Loose rope. Old door. She twisted her wrists slowly. No sharp pain. Just tension, then dash snap. She was free. Outside the cabin, Amira pushed. The door opened slowly. The sky outside was pale gray. A gravel road stretched through trees. No cars, no houses, just forest. She moved fast, barefoot, focused. She followed the sound of distant traffic. Her heart pounded, but she didn't stop. Back at the arena, the team arrived at the arena just in time. Crowds gathered. Lights flashed, but Coach Simmons still checked her phone every 2 minutes. "She should be here," she muttered. Jessica stood in full uniform. Pacing nervously, Kendall practiced her stretches, but her eyes kept drifting to the entrance, waiting, ending. Suspense. Amira reached a highway and flagged down a car. An old woman stopped. "Please," Amira gasped. "I need to get to the state cheer finals." The woman stared. "You're barefoot, child. I know. Please." The woman unlocked the door. "Get in." Amira slid into the seat. As they sped down the road, she pulled her ponytail tight and whispered, "You're not stopping me. Not today." The lights dimmed. The crowd roared. The music began without her. But just when they thought Amira was out, the doors slammed open. The crowd gone to rest inside the arena. The atmosphere was electric. Teams lined up backstage. Cameras rolled. Judges adjusted their pens. The announcer's voice echoed, "Please welcome East Ridge, high competing for the state championship." The crowd cheered, but Coach Simmons stood by the curtains, tense. Her best flyer was missing, and time was running out. Kendall Steps UP Kendall stood center, already in uniform, stretching her wrists like a pro. She leaned toward Coach. "If she doesn't show, I can do the routine. Solo," she offered. Voice calm. Coach hesitated. The team looked unsure. Jessica bit her lip. "She's coming," she whispered to herself. "She better." Kendall smirked under her breath. The missing UNFO in backstage. Coach opened the spare bag just in case, but something was missing. Amira's uniform gone. Jessica gasped. "Wait, I packed that myself." It was there. Coach looked confused. "Then where is it?" Kendall said nothing, but behind her calm face, her fingers tightened. On the ROAA demon while. Amira sat in the passenger seat of the old woman's car. "I'm close," she said, watching street signs. "Yes, this is the last turn. You sure you don't want to call the police?" the woman asked. Amira shook her head. "If I don't walk in that arena, she wins." The clock ticked. 5 minutes left. Coach made the call. "Everyone in position," she said, voice heavy. "We'll adjust the routine." Jessica turned. "What if she makes it?" The coach didn't answer. Then suddenly, bang, the side doors of the Arena slammed open. Her reacher on, the crowd turned. Gasps filled the air. Their dash barefoot, sweaty but unbroken, stood Amira Carter. She walked straight in, ponytail swinging. Eyes locked on the mat, the whole stadium went silent. Then cheering erupted. "Coach." "Ranter, where were you?" "I'll explain later," Amira said, catching her breath. "I need my uniform." Coach looked down. "It's gone." Amira didn't blink. "Then give me tape. Makeshift uniform in minutes." Amira turned her tank top and shorts into a clean, taped-together cheer outfit. Jessica handed her shoes. "You okay?" Amira nodded. "More than okay." She walked to Kendall. "I'm taking my spot." Kendall raised an eyebrow. "Hope you can still fly." Amira stepped forward. "Watch me." The final PRF arrangements, ETHA music began. East Ridge hit every move, tight formations, powerful flips. Then the final pyramid, Jessica gave the signal, Aimer sprinted, launched. The crowd rose to their feet. She landed at the very top, arms stretched high. Smile wide, flawless, ending SUSP and SE. Final pose ended in silence. Then thunderous applause. Judges nodded. People stood, but backstage. Kendall watched with burning eyes. This wasn't over, not yet. The scores were still being counted when one judge stood up, eyes wide, hands shaking. Mira's name had awakened something from his past, something he never forgot. Backstage, the performance was over. The crowd cheered loud. But backstage, nobody breathed easy yet. Coach Simmons held her clipboard tight. The team gathered, sweating and shaking from adrenaline. Jessica hugged Amira. "You killed it." "I had to," Amira said softly. But Kendall sat apart, quiet, watching, thinking. The judges tallied the front of the arena. 3 judges reviewed notes. One of them, Judge Nolan. In his mid-50s, calm and stern, froze mid-marking. His eyes were locked on the screen showing the team's names. There it was. Amira Carter. He leaned forward, whispered to the judge beside him, "I need a moment." A name from the PASD. Judge Nolan stepped outside. Into the hallway, he reached into his wallet and pulled out a folded photo, worn a group of Navy SEALs, all in uniform. In the center stood a tall, serious man. Underneath, in faded pen, Carter, 2nd Battalion, Afghanistan, 2005. "That's her father," Nolan whispered. Flashback, a life saved. Olin remembered it clearly. A mission gone wrong. Trapped behind enemy lines. Bullets flying. Smoke everywhere. It was Chief Carter, Amira's father, who dragged Nolan to safety after he was shot in the leg, carried him 5 miles. No hesitation. "I owe him my life," Nolan said aloud. Now, his daughter had just stood on stage like a warrior, just like her father. Kendall's last MOV, meanwhile. Kendall had quietly slipped into the scorer's room. She looked around, eyes scanning the desk. She spotted the score folders, opened the one for East Ridge. And there, it was Amira's name. Next to Judge Nolan's notes, Kendall grinned slightly. "Let's see if this judge is really as fair as he looks." She snapped a photo with her phone. Announcer takes the STH back on the floor. Announcer stepped up to the mic. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "the results are in." Cheers and murmurs filled the arena. Coach Simmons gathered the team. Amira stood tall. Calm, Jessica squeezed her hand. "You okay?" Amira nodded. "Whatever happens, I'm proud. The winner is, in 3rd place, Jefferson High, mild claps. In 2nd place, out, Stone Valley Prep." Gasps. Jessica whispered, "It's down to us in Oakside." Amira's heart thud. "Dead." The announcer smiled. And in 1st place, a long pause. Eastridge High School. The arena exploded. Screams, cheers, tears, tears, AM. Our single quotes S-team, hugging, crying they had won. The unexpected Matian Jafter, the medals were given. Judge Nolan approached Coach Simmons. "May I speak to Amira?" he asked. Coach nodded. Amira returned, confused. "Yes, sir." Nolan smiled gently. "I served with your father." Amira's eyes widened. "You knew him?" "He saved my life," Nolan said. "And today, I saw that same courage in you." Amira's throat tightened. "Thank you," she whispered. He handed her a card. "If you ever need anything, ever, you call me." She took it with both hands. "Thank you, sir." Ending SUSP and SCAs, Nolan walked away. Kendall stood in the shadows watching, still holding the photo she took of the score sheet. Her lips curled slightly. "Let's see how perfect Amira looks when I show the world the truth." One moment. Amira was holding the trophy. The next, her phone buzzed non-stop and whispers started spreading like wildfire. Celebration and IGHT East. Ridge High's cheer team was glowing. They took photos with their trophy. Coach Simmons smiled proudly first. "Time in 5 years," she said. "You girls made history." Amira stood in the middle, his arms around Jessica and Tasha. All she felt was peace. For the first time in weeks, no fear. No noise, just joy. But peace doesn't last long in high school. The first biosis, that night back at home, Amira's phone lit up. 30 unread messages. Group chat. "What is this?" Jessica had sent a photo. Amira tapped it. A picture of the judge's score sheet, with her name circled in red dot next to it. Judge Nolan's business card, and under it, "So this is how we won." "Seriously?" Amira blinked. "What is this?" Then came the second message, from Kendall. "It's funny how the only girl with Navy connections got a perfect score." The school group C. By morning, the photo was everywhere, on every student story. In every group chat, even teachers saw it. Rumors exploded. She bribed the judge. Her dad probably called in a favor. She didn't even earn that win. The worst part? Jessica didn't defend her. At CHOs, when Amira walked into class, whispers followed. Girls looked at her and laughed. Boys pointed at their phones. Even the teacher glanced at her. It's funny. She sat in silence. Her hands shook. She felt like she was falling. Again, the CIO went a furrow on at lunch. Amira found Jessica near the gym. "Why didn't you say anything?" Amira asked. Jessica looked torn. I didn't know what to believe." "You think I cheated?" Amira's voice broke. "I don't know." Jessica said, "It looks bad." Amira stepped back. "So after everything we win, and you still don't trust me?" Jessica stayed quiet. The silence hurt more than words. Kendall's moving the hallway. Kendall stood by her locker, smiling. She watched Amira walk past alone. Jessica walked behind her. Tasha, too, but no one stood with her. Kendall opened her phone and looked at the final image. Amira's name. Judge Nolan's signature. The perfect score beside it. She had created doubt, and doubt destroys faster than hate. Amira at HOM that evening, Amira sat on her porch. Her dad joined her quiet. He had seen the messages too. She didn't speak. He placed a hand on her shoulder. "You know it's true?" Nodded slowly. "But truth doesn't matter if no one believes it." Her father looked at her. "It does. What's to the right people?" Ending SUSPNS, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a video from an unknown number. It started shaky, filmed from a dark corner. The voice whispered, "If you want to know who really sets you up, meet me at the gym tonight." Alone, Amira's heart raced. A trap, a clue. Either way, she had to go. The gym was dark, silent, cold. But inside the locker room, truth waited, one that would shatter everything Amira thought she knew. Night FLS, it was almost midnight. The school building stood quiet, its windows glowing faintly. From hallway lights, Amira stood outside the gym door, heart pounding. The mystery video still played in her head. "If you want to know who really set you up, meet me at the gym, alone." She wasn't sure if it was a trap or a lifeline, but either way, she had nothing left to lose. The door creaks open and she pushed the gym door open. Every step echoed across the hardwood floor. Lights were off. The air smelled like sweat, dust, and silence. She made her way toward the girls' locker room. The hallway felt colder than usual. A whisper suddenly dashed footsteps. She turned. Nobody. Then a voice from the dark corner near the showers. Over here. A shadow stepped forward. Tasha. Amira blinked. Tasha. Ah. She nodded quickly. I sent the video. Amira's eyes narrowed. Why? Tasha looked nervous. I didn't know it would go this far. I thought it was just drama. Something. The LOCKR Tasha led her to locker number 38. Kendall's, she whispered. She pulled a bobby pin from her hair and twisted it in the lock. Click. The door swung open. Inside, cheer uniform ripped. A printed photo, the judge's table, and a folder with papers inside. Amira opened the folder. Her eyes widened. Fake emails, edited screenshots. A message from a fake account pretending to be Judge Nolan. All of it pointing at Amira making it. Looked like she had cheated. The truth uncovered, she planted all this, Tasha said. She wanted to be captain next year. When she realized you were more loved than her, Amira felt her knees weaken. All this time, every whisper, every look, it was Kendall. She set the fire and watched Amira burn footsteps. Again, suddenly the locker room door creaked. Both girls froze. Hide, Tasha whispered. They ducked behind the benches. The light flicked on Kendall, walked in alone checking her. Phone, she opened her locker, paused, her smile faded. The folder was gone. She looked, round as sharp. Amira held her breath, then Kendall muttered to herself. I'll delete everything tomorrow. Once the judges finalize the trophy, after that, nobody will care what she says. She turned and walked out. Amira stands up after a moment, Tasha whispered. What now? Amira stood. Calm, focused, she wanted to ruin my name, so I'll give her a stage to ruin hers. Asha asked. How? Amira's lips curled into a small smile. By doing what she never expected. Ending SUSP&S the next morning. The school would hold an assembly to honor the winning cheer team. Kendall would be front and center, but Amira. She'd be ready with the truth in her hands, and this time, everyone would be watching. The crowd cheered for the champions. But when Amira stepped forward with the microphone, everything went silent. The school goners. It was Friday morning. The school gym was packed, students on bleachers. Teachers in rows, phones ready to record. A banner hung behind the stage. Congratulations, Eastridge cheer team. Principal Harlan stood at the mic. Today we honor a team that brought pride back to our school. Cheerleaders walked onto the stage. Jessica, nervous, Tasha focused, Amira, calm, but ready, and Kendall smiling like a queen. The moment arrives before we give the trophy, the principal said. We'll hear a few words from the team. Coach Simmons gestured to Kendall. But before Kendall could step up, Mira moved forward. I'd like to say something first. The room grew quiet. Kendall's smile froze. Amira speaks. Amira took the mic, her voice steady, her hands firm. Some of you think I cheated. I got special help because of who my father is. Murmurs in the crowd. She held up a folder. This is proof that I didn't. But someone else tried to cheat the system. She opened the folder, showing photos, screenshots, fake emails, all planted in Kendall's locker. Gasps, phone started. Recording? Kendall's eyes widened. Kendall strikes back lies, Kendall shouted, stepping forward. She's making it up. Amira didn't flinch. She said she'd delete everything after the trophy was final, Amira said. Then she turned to the projector. I brought a video. Coach Simmons, already informed, connected the USB. The screen lit up. Security footage. Kendall, entering the judge's room alone, taking a photo of the score sheet. Caught. Red dash handed. The crowd erupted. Jessica Stiendis from the side. Jessica stood and joined Amira. She tried to turn me against her too, Jessica said, but I believe her now. One by one, teammates stood beside Amira, Tasha, Sarah, even the quiet freshman. Lily Kendall backed away, face pale. The principal's DCIACO and Principal Harland stepped up. This is serious. There will be an investigation. Until then. Took the mic. Kendall, you are suspended from the team. Effective immediately. Silence. Then cheers. Kendall turned and ran off the stage past dozens of recording phones. After the STORM, after the assembly, Amira stood by herself in the hallway. Students passed, nodding, smiling, clapping her on the shoulder. Some said sorry. Some just said thank you. Jessica approached her again. I should have trusted you, Amira nodded. It's okay. Now you know who I am. Jessica smiled. Next time we dance, let's make it louder. Ending SUSP and SI. Just then, Amira's phone buzzed. A message from her dad. Proud of you, but watch your back. Sometimes snakes don't crawl, they smile. Below it, a news headline. Local cheer scandal goes viral. Judge Nolan asked to testify. The story was bigger than Amira imagined, and it wasn't over yet. She thought the storm had passed until her father's past was dragged into the headlines, and the real battle began. Viral OVRNAGHT by the next morning. Amira's story was everywhere. A video titled High School Cheer Captain Caught Framing Teammate hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Comments poured in. That girl's a hero. Her dad's a Navy SEAL. No wonder she handled it like a boss. I hope that Kendall girl gets expelled. But with attention came danger. Unwanted spotlight. Amira sat on her porch with her dad. Watching the news, a local reporter stood outside their school, saying, ... and sources confirm her father, former Navy SEAL Marcus Bell, may have played a role in influencing the judges. Amira gasped. What? Her father stayed quiet, jaw tight. Then came the next headline. Was the cheer victory earned or engineered? Suddenly he was the story, not Kendall. Not the lie, him, the media digs. DEA porters started camping outside their house. One even knocked on the door. Mr. Bell, care to comment on the judge's relationship with the Navy? He shut the door, but the internet didn't stop. Old photos of him in uniform began circulating. One post even called him dangerous, a former mission leak. A blurry photo in uniform. One false headline, father of cheerleader linked to secret operation in Qatar. Amira stared at it, heart racing. This is crazy. School gets eye on VOLV the next day. Principal Harland called Amira into his office. He looked uncomfortable. The board is asking questions about your win, about your family. She swallowed hard. I did nothing wrong. I believe you, he said, but we're under pressure. There's talk of rechecking the competition results. Amira's hands curled into fists. They want to take the trophy back, he sighed. If they find even a small connection between your dad and the judge, they might call from Judge Unalayan. That evening, her father got a call. Put it on. Speaker, Amira said. Judge Nolan's voice came through. I never received any pressure from anyone. I scored based on skill. That girl outperformed everyone. But the media's tearing it up, Marcus said. Judge Nolan hesitated. There's something you should know. Kendall's uncle is a lawyer, and he's been pushing stories to protect her family's name. Amira's eyes narrowed. So it's not about truth. It's about power. The plan. Amira looked at her father. If they want to play dirty, we stay clean. But we go big, he nodded. What do you have in mind? She picked up her phone. People believe videos. So I'll give them the full truth. Not edited, not twisted. She opened her camera, set it to record, and stared straight into the lens. Video. My name is Amira Bell. I'm the girl from the cheer scandal. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I just worked hard. My father didn't help me win. He taught me how to fight for myself. If you want proof, I've got it. If you want the truth, I'll show you. And if you still want to take the trophy from me, come try. Ending SUSP. Video posted at midnight by sunrise. It had over 4 million views, and a message sat in Amira's inbox from a national news anchor. We want to bring you and your father on live television. America deserves to hear your story. But just as she read it, her phone buzzed again. A private number she picked up. A deep voice spoke. Your dad's enemies remember him. Be careful, Amira. You're not just in a cheer story anymore. She stepped onto the stage with truth in her heart, but what waited in the shadows would test everything her father ever taught. Her live on national TV, bright lights, cameras, a studio packed with eyes. Amira sat next to her father, Marcus Bell. On the morning show couch, the host smiled politely, but her voice carried edge. You've been called the face of teen resilience, but others say this was all carefully planned. Your father a Navy SEAL, your video perfect timing. Was this a setup? Mira looked into the camera. I never asked for fame. I asked for fairness. Her father nodded quietly beside her. I didn't fight wars for my daughter to be bullied in school. The crowd clapped. The host shifted uncomfortably. A deeper dig, the host leaned forward. Some documents were leaked this morning. Military records. A past mission in Qatar. Your name was redacted, Mr. Bell. Until now. Marcus Bell's jaw tightened. Amira grabbed his hand. The host added, Is it true you were involved in the covert operation that led to an international scandal? Silence. Then Marcus replied calmly, I've done things I don't talk about, but never to hurt innocent people, never to help my daughter cheat. Amira looked straight at the camera. You're all looking for dirt. But the truth is simple. I won because I worked harder, because I didn't give up. Backlash GROW is after the interview. Social media exploded again. Some praised Amira's bravery, but others trolls. Bots, even political pages began attacking. She's just using her dad's name. Another military brat playing the victim. Real cheerleaders don't need Navy SEALs to protect them. At school the pressure returned, whispers in the hallway. Teachers glancing sideways, even old friends hesitating. A visit from COO, Coach Simmons. Met Amira in the gym later that week. She held a form. Now this is a national cheer competition. Invitation only. They want you to audition. Amira blinked. Why me? Because the world saw you stand up, and some people actually respected it. She took the form, but didn't smile. A father's truth that night. Amira sat with her father by the fire pit in their backyard. She finally asked, What happened in Qatar? He was quiet for a long time, then said, We lost someone, a friend, because of bad orders. I followed protocol, but I never forgave myself. He looked at her eyes, tired. I joined the SEALs to protect people, but they turned that into a headline, Amira whispered, and now it's hurting me. He nodded. I can disappear from this. Change our name, let you walk away clean. She shook her head. No, I carry your name because I'm proud of it. The final choice, Amira filled out the audition form, but on the last line where it asked for her name she paused, then, with slow care, wrote Amira Bell, daughter of SEAL Marcus Bell. Months later, Amira stood on a giant stage at the National Cheer Finals, a packed arena. Thousands of eyes. She wore a white and blue uniform, strong, focused, silent before the music. The moment began. She flipped, leapt, flew flawless. The crowd roared, and in the front row, her father stood with silent pride. Eptho, the announcer's voice, filled the arena. This year's Rising Star Award goes to Amira Bell. She took the trophy, and for the first time in months, she smiled without fear, because now the world knew her name, and no one could take it from her.